Welcome back to the another episode of our podcast. We are very much happy and thankful to our today's guest, Dr. Mukesh Patel sir. Dr. Mukesh Patel sir has a wide experience in academic and consulting many companies, and that's why we have taken a topic of this podcast is AI blueprint for students. Welcome, sir, to our episode of this podcast. We are very much thankful to you, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, Dr.
Fine, sir. Sir, before we move forward to the actual topic of the episode, can you please let us know about your professional journey so far so that our students can understand how multiple facets you have exposed?
Yes, very much so. It's been quite a convoluted journey. I grew up in Britain and went to school there, secondary school. Before that, I was in East Africa. Anyway, so my first university was Bristol University. I did philosophy and psychology there. Finished it, and then I worked for a couple of years in the corporate world. First a bank, and then a market research firm. After that, I then decided to do a master's in computer science, which I did at Edinburgh University, and then a PhD in AI at Edinburgh University. This was in 1984,
Great.
and I finished my PhD in 1990. So, very early days for AI. And after that, for about 10 years, I worked at various institutes in research, mostly working on self learning systems, complex adaptive systems. I worked at various places in Europe, in US, Berkeley University, and research institutes in France, Germany, Italy, and Greece, as well as UK. Then in 1997, I decided to go into the corporate world. I started an IT company based in India, which is why I'm here in India now, which we ran for a few years. And then we sold that company. And then the last 15 years, I've been involved in Indian education system as advisor to various is, including Charuset, teaching as a faculty, and so on, doing some research.
So quite a long and interesting experience. Yes, yes. So, sir, you have you are the witness. You have experienced. You have seen the. Uh, I think both the boom, the internet boom and the AI boom, both the era you have witnessed. So, can you quickly spot that similarities and difference between both the eras?
Well, if you look at the point of view in terms of interest and investment and number of companies, it's very similar. Both of the trajectories. See, with whatever technology, any new technology, suddenly people see the potential. With the internet, when I grew up, I mean, at Edinburgh University, internet was just being designed, right? For example, we had no Windows system. You were directly, basically, it was a mainframe computer, and you had monitors. So there was no internet at such, but we had very basic email, so you could message each other, and then that gradually somebody came up with a browser to sort of turn the whole, TCP/IP protocol into something that was much more useful and accessible to people rather than just computer scientists and programmers. And so suddenly, so that took about 10 years. By the early 90s, mid 90s, it was clear that there is something here that a lot of people can exploit, right? And similarly with AI, right now is the same thing happening. People see the use of AI in various ways, in different ways. So from that point of view, it's very similar. So you will get, as it were, a trajectory which goes up, where too much enthusiasm is there, too much investments, too hype much. There's hype going on. There's over promising going on. Okay, it somehow it will change the world and things, and then we settle down to a more realistic kind of expectation. I think with AI, it's going to be a similar trajectory. We are actually at now the stage of hype, I personally believe, but I will revise that in a minute once we go on to the next topic. In terms of other similarities or dissimilarities, they're very dissimilar. Let's be clear. Internet was really just, as it were, a step in the right direction. In that, before internet, for simplicity's sake, you assume everything was paper based. Everything was hard copy. People used to write on pieces of paper and there were typewriters and things. But the point is that all the correspondence, official, your birth certificate, letter from your bank, statement, all this was letter based. And the post office in all over the world was crucial. What the internet did is basically change those fundamental aspects. First of all, everything could be digitized, which eventually it was. Everything was online, right? So basically, it was like computer based. And secondly, it sort of reduced the requirement for physical copies, hard copies, and particularly the postal system, which we, as you know, now barely survives in terms of delivering letters, all email based and messaging and this and the other. So that fundamentally did change. But one important, and that is what I want to explain, in many ways, there was no issue. There was some discussion that the internet will reduce some jobs like a post office worker or secretarial work, this kind of thing, right? But it was not a major impact in terms of employment or opportunities. If anything, it increased productivity and increased the opportunities for a lot more people. In fact, the Indian IT industry is partly grew because of the internet. And that the
Mm.
demand was so high that our IT required skills. People we were producing as graduates were got jobs, right? And in fact, there were more jobs than people at one point. But nevertheless, so with AI, it is not so.
Mm.
Whether it will destroy jobs in some ways, because qualitatively, fundamentally, these are two different. Internet, as I said, was much more straightforward transition from a more physical based system to a computer based.
Mm.
And what it did, as I said, in some sense, and it extended the reach. So I in India can sort of, as it were, sell things to somebody in Turkey or in Japan. Whereas in the before the internet, it was impossible. Unless I
Mm.
had some outlet in Germany or some business partner in Turkey, it was not possible for me to sell my services or my products. Right? So that
Mm.
it made the world a smaller place and a more easily reachable place. Right?
Mm.
With AI, as I said, things are much more different.
Very, very clear insight you have given, sir, regarding both the eras. Uh, Let us come back to the student side, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Many students think that AI means only ChatGPT. Uh, can you tell this is not right?
Absolutely not. And please understand, right? Any student, particularly if you're in IT field or some kind of technical field, AI, definitely you've already used it. Most of the people listening to this podcast, I'm sure,
Hmm.
will have used it for something or other. Please do understand it's a tool. Right? It's very much a tool. And ChatGPT is one of them. What I would really urge to every listener is please try and understand the fundamental aspects of AI, how it is that these models are developed, what it takes them to bring them to the level where you as a user can benefit from. If you understand that, you will understand the fundamental limitations of, which is that while it the output is often at first sight very, very amazing. You think, wow, it's done such a great job, right? It gives you code that makes a lot of sense, or it will take your very badly written essay or report and turn into a nice, very nice, well written document.
Hmm. Hmm.
But please understand that ultimately this AI model is not really doing, it's not clear, it does not understand what it's doing.
Hmm.
On the basis of input, it has an algorithm that converts the input into the output. So if you have a badly written paragraph in English, it knows how to make it better.
Yes.
Now, please, so that's one point. So that so in that sense, there's many, many models, right? It doesn't have to be just ChatGPT. And understand limitations of it is the point.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
reason you understand, so you have an idea okay, what an AI system, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the others, what their limitations fundamentally are. If you don't understand that, you will be taken for right in that sometimes the AI system can give you very misleading output. It's called
Hmm.
hallucination sometimes,
Yes.
and codes that are not right, for example. So you will have to have, and as a user, ultimately understand that whether the output is appropriate. And for that, you require the skill. So my point is
Hmm.
much more, Dr. Soil, is not that it's just Jet GPT, but please understand it's a tool, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you want to say that ultimately the understanding the human factor and critical thinking plays a interesting role, important role. If you are using AI, if you are using AI, then you cannot opt for these things. And you should have these things. You can directly just using AI and directly using the output of the tools to the production. At least to today, it will it will it will not going to help you in a longer run.
No, because the fundamentals, you see, with the internet was the same thing, right? I used to say that, look, internet, when you look at it as a user, and if you don't have a computer science background, which I had, for example,
Hmm.
then for the vast majority it was magic,
Yes.
right? Because they thought, okay, wow, I can make a video call. I mean, you
Hmm.
might think video call is something that is completely common and normal, but there was a time it was like magic to
Hmm.
actually be able to make a call where you see the other face and not just the sound or the audio
Hmm.
was like magic. Now, if you understand TPC, IP protocol and all the rest of it, you understand how it works, right? Otherwise,
Hmm.
so the point I'm making is that ignorance is a problem. You need to have an understanding of any technology. For example, let's take a car,
Hmm.
internal combustion engine. Okay, you learn to drive. Now, if you understand what happens in the bonnet underneath, how the internal combustion engine operates, you can be a much better driver, right?
Yes.
Because you understand how the gear works, how the torque works, how the accelerator is providing more power, all these things.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you are just an ignorant person who, I'm not saying that you should know it so you can fix the car. That's not the point. But if you know the technology, you can drive more efficient.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That kind of thing. So AI, coming back to the point you've made, definitely it is a tool, but please understand how it works, because that also then gets you an understanding of its limitation. And
Hmm.
this is a current state. People are saying soon we will get beyond that, where AI will never make a mistake. I doubt it. Personally, I doubt it. But let's see.
Yes. 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 Sir, just now in the last question, you have talked about the jobs and jobs in a danger,
Hmm.
some jobs in a danger. Even we keep seeing reels and shorts and articles that really the AI is going to disrupt the job market, and many person will lose the job. Even some companies have started laying off their employees in the name of AI, or sometimes to hide what is going inside, but in the name of AI they are laying off the people. So personally, what you think that is really AI is hitting jobs or not?
Okay. Short answer, no.
Okay.
Long answer, yes. In the sense that what has happened is there was this expectation. This is what I meant earlier about AI not being perfect. Any
Mhm.
AI tool with
Yes.
ChatGPT, Gemini, all the rest of it. The point you understand is like, yeah, there was immediate euphoria, particularly in the IT industry and particularly with the case of coders and programmers. The issue was that they said, okay, I have a system now that produces the code. Why do I need a person to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Then they realized that obviously the code was not perfect, right? And therefore you need some expertise. So then they decided, well, that expertise is somebody who has got 10 years experience, 5 years. They look at the code, they can work out, okay, this code is right, this is some wrong, this is a bug, this needs to be fixed, this can be better, whatever it is, right? So you need expertise knowledge in order to take the output of AI and make it 100%, right? So you may start with 80% output, which is good enough, but the other 20% depends on the expert. So I think some of the companies actually jumped the gun a little too far. They thought, oh, they don't need the young people in. And also, as you know, in India particularly, we have very high benchmark, meaning they'll hire 10 to 20% of their intake on the basis that we might need them, not that
Yes.
there's actual functions for them in the
Yes.
job, right?
Yes.
That's what we call benching. And the
Benching.
expectation work will come and then we can deploy them. So in a way, it's like making sure you have a pool of talent. And I think that was real. They felt that they don't have this.
Yes.
Having said this was about, I think, late last year, you heard a lot of people reducing,
Ha
taking.
ha.
Now I hear there are stories coming up that they're rehiring. They're
Mm.
looking for more people because they realize that what AI is producing is good enough, but not perfect. So for
Mm.
that, they need the skill. Now, get the point. The other thing that became a worry was that if you just rely on the expert who had experience, say, over the last 10 years to do the code. Maybe in 20 years' time, they won't be there. So you need to also make sure that you have younger people coming through the system that gain the expertise to be able to, as it were, critically evaluate AI output. We're just talking about coding now, but I think
Yes.
that's a good example.
Yes.
Nevertheless, so that's the point. So in some sense, I think companies are also realizing that they have to nurture some younger people, train them, even if the AI systems are giving them good enough code in order to do the checking, the quality checking, fixing, this kind of things. And frankly, also, when people talk about code, last point is that people, it's usually small code for small requirements, right? For the larger, more complicated software systems, I think it requires a lot more human intervention. You make it the code, as it were, you get the lines, but to make it all together, bring it together, to work it together, it still requires a lot of human ingenuity, human effort, human understanding.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now, just the other part. So beyond IT, I think currently AI is having an impact. For example, in data analytics, a lot of trading, stocks and shares trading, this kind of thing is sort of AI managed, right? With specific AI systems developed for those tasks. I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine who said that now, most more or less, when they're writing a contract for anything, they get the AI to generate. And then they have an expert to look at, and they say, yeah, it has increased our productivity and reduced the time we spend on these things, right? So, yes, there will be that advantage. So, productivity will increase. But I think ultimately, in terms of uh, destroying a large, serious amount of jobs currently, I don't think it's going to happen. If anything, it will help develop, just as the internet, ultimately it increased growth everywhere, opportunities everywhere, wealth everywhere. And I think AI probably is going to go in that.
Yes. 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 So, after listening to your thoughts on this job and related disruption, uh, will will there be an impact on the hiring process too in future?
Uh, well, I don't understand what you mean. They will the hiring process for IT,
Yes,
computer science students.
hiring process for IT too.
Oh, okay.
IT.
Yes, they will be. They will be in the sense that if you assume that the pie will remain the same, right? Meaning, say last year somebody like Infosys or TCS hired 20,000 graduates. Maybe this year they might hire 15. I don't know the numbers. I'm just saying it will be lower, right? Because the requirement is less. Because as I said, the code generating is automated.
Yes.
The checking is not automated. That requires human intervention.
Yes.
So that will be the case. But having said this, who knows? Maybe there's a lot more AI implementations that are expected, are possible, which will require more IT jobs. So while Infosys might not recruit the same number of people, there might be other companies that are recruiting. So I think
Yes.
the overall, in absolute terms, I feel that it is more likely to increase opportunities.
Yes.
But I want to add something.
Yes.
What
Yes.
I did earlier. Listen, students, you must understand this, right? To any now, whether you get a job or not, whether there's opportunities or not, to understand the fundamental aspect of computation, right at the machine language level, and how AI or machine learning algorithms work, how AI models are developed, how they operate, these things are definitely non-negotiable in that you must know. Because to be effective contributor, jobs will require that. They don't want dummies who do use AI.
Yes.
They want people who understand how AI works so they can use it optimally.
Yes.
And they understand that AI for this task will do a good job, but AI for this task will not do a good job. So that understanding comes from, as it were, understanding the fundamentals about AI. Just one example, right? We all understand, okay, when you pay for something, say you pay, now, of course, we don't, we all pay with digital pay, but let's just assume you pay with a 100 rupees note, right? If you don't know anything about arithmetic and say the thing costs 65 rupees, right? And the person gives you back 40 rupees, right? If you don't have any arithmetic, you will not understand whether 40 rupees is correct or not, or 30 rupees is correct. So fundamentally, arithmetic is required. Now we don't use it daily, but at least we know that if we needed to, you would work out. And that's the same example I have for AI is you need to understand just the way if you understand arithmetic, you understand if you give somebody some money, the change should be a certain amount if the price of the good is a certain amount.
Yes.
Even if the computer is doing it, even if you're doing it digitally, whatever it is, the point is you can understand the fundamentals of what's addition, what's subtraction.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
and that's the same thing I would say with you. That please understand it. And the thing is, it's so easy to do it because apart from education and all that, there's so many resources on the internet that explains this. Right? YouTube videos, podcasts like this.
Yes. Yes. So students, you do not have to worry. Opportunities surely will
Yes.
be there and will be more. But as sir has said, the fundamentals should be strong enough to cope up with any kind of new development.
Perfect. You've summarized this well.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Totally.
So, sir, what you say that how a computer science student should utilize AI and how should not?
So it's a very simple answer. Definitely use AI. Let's not go down this route. AI is something you can't use. It's like it's everywhere, and it is also not particularly harmful, right? In the sense that if you misuse it or use it, if you use it, there'll be some problems, right? But no, use it only for purposes where you then understand the output, right?
Hmm.
If whatever you use it for, understand meaning, yeah, sure, use it. Then look at what it's giving you. And then exercise your intelligence in your critical faculties, whether it's making coding.
Hmm.
I've already given the example
Yes, yes,
that you can just check, okay, I mean, you can literally just take the code and, as it were, run it.
yes, yes.
And you'll find it doesn't run, right? So then you can do reverse, like engine, debugging. You
Hmm.
fix it. So that is straight. For text and other things, you need obviously a lot more involvement. It's not so straightforward to check whether this sentence is right or the paragraph
Hmm.
is making sense or not. But the point is, you can, if you have understanding of what the so yeah, use it as a tool. That is
Hmm.
my point. But as an intelligent tool. I
Yes.
mean, sorry, as an intelligent engagement with them. So not mindlessly use it and not understand why you've got the answer you output.
Hmm. Right, right. Uh, Sir, coming to the last question of this episode, that what one or two advice that you want to give to young student?
Oh, okay. Well, look, the currently I can understand when I was a young man or when you were a young man,
Huh.
we did not have any of the technology that you have currently, right? And the access to it. Currently, there is no incentive for you to remember anything
Hmm.
because do Google search, and now of course AI will not only do the search for you but even interpret the information for you. But please don't think that somehow just because you have this ability, this machines available and this software available, all these systems, all this repository of information, that somehow because it's accessible, you don't have to internalize knowledge. You do have to. You really do have to have an understanding. And again, the same point, the more you understand about something, the more you will then use uh, all this support you've got, search, information, Wikipedia, AI models, LLMs, in a much more intelligent and productive. So that is the most important difference, I would,
Yes.
between mindless use of AI. And it's a problem because in India, particularly, I want to raise this. It's a very big problem because we all understand that obviously English is for most of us a second. We learn it at school. We don't really necessarily use it on daily terms. And sometimes the output of AI systems is good enough, but not so good that because you don't understand English or have that facility to realize that it is not quite correct. I'm just
Hmm.
giving that as an example in the sense that currently a lot of people are using it, and I feel that they need to understand that just by getting an output from an AI system, they should not rely on it as good enough. There
Hmm.
needs to be a critical judgment. I know I've made this point earlier, but I just want to emphasize
Yes,
that's
yes,
the
yes,
thing.
yes.
As to future opportunities, right, educationally, I would say that I don't think that fundamentally anything has changed in terms
Hmm.
of possible opportunities. What has changed is perhaps more opportunities where you'll be required to have more skills than just AI's, IT skills. Meaning,
Hmm.
Up to now, the model in India was if you are a computer science engineer or an IT engineer, you go get a job as a coder in a software development company. That is changing. There's many more other opportunities, right? Including people buying, building specialized AI models for specific purposes, right? More than just LLM, expert systems, whatever you want to call it. So I think you will need more domain knowledge.
Yes.
Right now, just knowing how to do Python or C++ was good enough. Now you need to understand the context of the issue you are addressing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that kind of thing, and I think education systems will also change to reflect that. I would say that that is something. Now you've got access to all this knowledge, YouTube, this, Wikipedia, all the rest of it. Please take advantage of and learn about it, right? Learn around the system rather than like, oh, I know how to program. That would be my very strongest.
Thank you very much, sir, for this advice to our students. And again, thank you from CMPICA and Charuset that despite of your busy schedule, you come down to the podcast and enlighten us and enlighten our students for this very important topic about the AI blueprint for student. Yes, student, we are done with the episode, and keep seeing and keep sharing this episode to your friends and family members. Like us on like and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, and keep visiting this space for more interesting episodes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.